Hello. Good day.
Hey,
Good
how
day,
you
my
doing?
friends. Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. You know what? I like the weather changes. Here we are in Southern California, and I know back east they go. You don't know what weather change is, but it's a little bit cooler, right? It's a little bit crisper.
No, it's 90 degrees where I live, and it's going to be 100 this weekend. I don't know what in the fuck you're talking about.
Maybe I have the
Mister, I
AC
live by the
on.
beach. No, it's hot. It was like a
Okay,
teasingly wonderful 75 for like 3 days, and then it is right back up into the high 90s. Gonna
yeah,
hit
Santa
100.
Ana's. Yeah.
It's that sun is blazing. So no, and the
Wow.
Santa Anas haven't even hit yet. So
Oh my gosh. I
keep
got the
calling.
I went hoodie weather. I just thought it was cooling down. Sorry, I don't
Oh,
know. I was out walking this morning early and it was cool and I figured it was still cool outside. I had no idea. Maybe I completely misjudged it. Oh my gosh.
you like to
Uh,
brag.
how's everything going? How's your week?
Everything's good. It was really funny yesterday. So my daughter gets my youngest daughter, well, both of them did, but my youngest gets like the lowest grade she's ever gotten is an A-, knock on wood. Okay. So
Mm,
she's always asked to be in this like honor roll society thing. Last year I let her skip it. And then this year I realized, like, wait a minute, no, this is something she should be doing. So it's in her file, right? So I tell her, oh no, we're gonna do it, we're gonna accept it. And she has full meltdown, breakdown, like I have never seen, screaming, slams the door. And I was like, what? And I was like, I just didn't understand this reaction. And she says, she's screaming at me, you promised you would never make me do anything I didn't want to do. And I'm like, but what do you have to do? I'm so confused. What you think you have to do? And she's like, 3 hours of community service.
3 hours.
3 hours of community. Now, I stopped there and I'm like, well, you're not like a selfish little brat. Like, what's 3 hours of community service? Well, okay, to make a long story short, we go on and on and on. And I'm explaining to her that it's like loosey goosey. Like, she can walk the dog, she can help the neighbor, she can go water at the community garden. Like, and she's still having a meltdown. Okay, come to find out at the end of like an hour of like, what is wrong with my child?
Yeah.
Apparently in cheer, the coach had told any kind of punishment. So if you drop a flyer, if you don't wear your uniform properly, if you're late, you get in trouble and you're penalized.
Okay.
Guess what the punishment is?
Community service.
Community service. So she's associated the word community service with
Yeah.
punishment.
Messed up.
So we had a real aha moment last night. And it's like, I'm like, it means to serve your community, community service. It's just these things that sometimes you expect the little ones to like get, but they've got something else happen. They heard something else somewhere and they've got this whole other idea of what's going on. And I'm like, you think I would sign you up for punishment? Like, I'm so confused. I'm
The
so confused.
Nicole, I think your daughter's coach made a bad mistake on that one,
I think
right?
I agree.
Because now
I
your brain's
really didn't like
thinking
that.
doing a good deed is a bad thing.
I know I didn't like that. But on the other side of that coin is that she's going to do some community service. And I think it's really helpful. I'm surprised I haven't had her do it before, although we had talked about it. So, people need to not forget that when you're feeling like not the greatest, or even when you
Yeah.
are feeling great, community service is always a really surprisingly amazing feeling for both you and the people you're doing it for. So, that's my service announcement for the day.
There you go. Again, it's a life lesson, right? For her that
Yeah.
maybe what she thought was a bad thing will be something that, hey, I got a lot out of that, and
That's
didn't
and this
expect
is
that.
this is what I'm hoping. This is what I know. I'm probably going to go
Yeah.
sign her up at the shelter. She'll love that, the animal shelter. Yeah, I think I'm
Oh,
going to
that's
turn
cool.
this into something positive. But you just never know what's going on in their little heads.
No.
You just don't know, right? So, okay, we've got a really cool guest today. Somebody I've known for a really long time, and I know him as Seth. But most of you will know him as Shifty from Crazy Town, and they sing the huge hit Butterfly, which everybody and their mother and their grandparents know that song. So let's bring him on, Seth Binzer.
Hello. Hi.
Hey,
How are you? What a day.
good.
Hey, how you
Yeah,
doing,
what's
Seth?
good?
Oh, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. You were like always, I feel like you were always on the road and you were always performing. You were
Yes,
nonstop, aren't you?
It's been nonstop. That and a lot of work on mental health type of stuff. Like obviously I've been through a lot, but I'm super happy. So I'm as I get older, I'm just trying to find the right balance of touring and normal life. So
When you figure that out, let the rest of us know.
Yes, yeah.
It's a constant, isn't it? A constant battle. I know I it's like part of me like loves the busy all the time. And then the other part is like, you can get lost in that and you lose yourself. And it is a balance. That is such a balance. But
Absolutely.
you guys
You gotta
seem
do what you love to
successful.
do.
Huh?
I said, but it's always a blessing to do what you love to do. You just gotta do it the right way, So
That's it. That's it. I know. So where have you been lately? Where did you just get home from?
Actually, I've been taking some time off. I'm working on a new record.
Oh,
Worked on it. Been just finishing up a documentary that I'm really excited about, and I have a new record I'm putting out. So just doing a lot of that stuff and getting ready to tour again.
I love that. And are you working on it in LA?
Yeah, we're mixing right now and going to put it out in EPs. Like it's a whole new world right now, like marketing music. So I think we're gonna kind of do a series of EPs that lead into the album. So
That's cool.
yeah,
I like that. Yeah, everything is so different, right? You've got to be creative in all aspects of,
It's
or
not
you get
people.
the
It's like,
freedom.
remember what, Lemonade and Brownies, was it? Or what
Yeah. Yeah.
you did the cover
Yeah.
of that? Yeah.
Yep. I know. And that was like a last minute thing. We were like hanging out at my place. He's like, let's go shoot the cover. And I was like, all right, and it just,
I remember those days as well.
yeah, right. I
It was a cool
know.
cover though. I miss just CDs and Tower Records.
I know. I do too. Except I always scratched my CDs. I think
Right. That's how people buy them over and over again.
yeah, that's true. True. Or I'd like have
All
the
my
big
favorite
car.
albums. Yeah.
Wait, so all the 2000s are totally back, right? All the late 90s, 2000s. I think I hear your song more than ever. Although it never really went anywhere, I hear it so much more and like so many references to it. And it's like when you were making it, and did you think like, did you ever think that this was going to be like an iconic song like it is?
No. I mean, I knew that it was the one that I kind of knew it was special, and I knew that the labels all pointed that song out. Like everyone kind of was like, "This is the one." Actually, Scott Weiland, who was the first person who heard it and was like, when I saw his face when we played him that song, and that he was the first one who helped us get like a bidding war when we first got our deal, but he was like, "This is the biggest thing ever." And so it was cool. Like, so when my idols and people I looked up to really like were excited about it, and Korn got really excited about it, then I was like, this is the song. This is our secret weapon. But I never knew that it would become one of these iconic songs that don't really go away, which is the coolest thing ever. So,
it never gets old.
Seth, I'm good friends with a former Major League Baseball player, Brett Boone. And Brett Boone, everyone in his family's made it the pros. His brother's the manager of the New York Yankees. And Brett, when he was in his heyday and he was killing it for the Seattle Mariners, his walk-up song was Butterfly. And every time Brett comes on as a guest on a show, he makes them play Butterfly. Otherwise, he won't come on the show. And it is funny. And I just saw him 2 days ago, and I completely forgot to mention that we were going to talk to you. But as soon as we're done with this, I got to give him a call. He's going to lose his mind knowing that we had his guy on.
Oh, for sure. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's also weird when you have, because it's not necessarily my favorite song I've ever made. Like, so it's also weird. I remember for a long time, like until I did the Oakenfold song, we got boxed in. It was like this one song where it was like I was really excited to have it, but then it was like it got so much attention, it was hard to outdo that song. So so that was it's a double-edged sword. When you have a song that big, it's kind of like to repeat it is not as easy. And so like when I had success with the Oakenfold song, it really finally it was a similar song. It's funny because the songs that are more simple that I do are the ones that seem to be like more universal, and then the songs that are really more intricate and I guess they go under the radar are some of my favorites. So you know, it's interesting making music, you know.
Yeah, because it's the masses, right? They like, you know, it's like not everybody's a creative type.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
right. So I know, and I get it. Like you get pigeonholed, and it's like one little part of your entire life career, and like that people associate you with just that all the time. I fall into the same thing all the time, and it's like it's great. So glad to have it, but it's like you're so much more than that, you know.
Yeah, and well, you know what? At the end of the day, I went through loving it, I went through hating it, and at the end of the day, I love it because it's
Love
the
it.
song that you know. When I was little, I remember, um, you know, going through other artists' houses and looking at a platinum plaque on the wall and being like, when I grow up, I want to have one of those. And it's like I've exceeded those little dreams, and I got to have this big hit song, and it's a blessing at the end of the day. I have so many friends that I think are better than me, or you know that I look up to as artists, and their records just went under the radar completely. You know, so it's like I got, you know, it's not only about talent, it's about luck. It's like you know, that it's very rare to have a song that does that. So I'm grateful
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
like that lightning in a bottle. It's the
Yeah.
timing, the timing, the luck, the talent, all of
Yeah,
it
the perfect
all
storm.
coming together. I agree. I agree. So with that, you guys also, Seth has a great Instagram. I really love and appreciate your Instagram all the time. So go check that out at Real Crazy Town because um, there's funny stuff, there's deep shit, there's serious stuff. You get to keep up with what he's doing. You're really good at Instagram posting. Do you do it yourself?
Yeah, I do that. That's really the only social media that like, when I was young, I guess I've always loved photos and quotes and stuff. But you know, I had these collages on my wall in my bedroom wall, like every little rock and roll kid, I guess. But so when I found Instagram, it was like a way for me to express myself through photos and quotes and stuff. And I can get with that. You know,
Yeah.
I really like it. You know, I wish you could move them around. I wish you could press on them and like move them up and move them down, but you know.
Hey, new feature.
Yes.
They need the new feature. No, that's funny because you want to change the collage. That's
Yeah.
funny. I like that. Well, I'm so glad to see you're smiling. You have such a beautiful smile. And it's like, you know, we're all so human. And it's like, it's so good to watch everybody go through their journeys in life because we've known each other a long time. Dave, Seth and I were kids, like kids. I don't even think we were supposed to be in the club, you know?
Yeah. We're
You know, we were young. We were young and wild and all of that. So, and now here we are as adults. And I'm so glad you love the song because, you know, your grandkids are going to know it and it lives on forever. And you should be so proud. And it's just so fun to see like friends doing, you know, huge things and like being in a good place. Yeah. Love that. Well, anything, is there anything you want to, where do we download music? Like any recent music?
You can find music. I mean, there's new music. I put out a couple teasers that are on YouTube. There's a song called Fly Away. And it's off my upcoming album. But ultimately, I guess the best way to tune into what I'm doing is the Real Crazy Town. I'm going to be doing scattered dates over the next few months. I believe I'm playing the Whiskey A Go Go next month in LA.
Ooh, nice.
And you know, that's where I got signed. It's like a very special room to me, and I always love to play for my friends there. It's so it's just classic. Like I don't think I play anywhere else in LA because that's just my spot. But you know, basically the music's coming out. This documentary is gonna be coming out soon, which is really cool because I've done some reality TV that I was really not sure if I should have done. Although my intentions and being transparent about my issues has really empowered me. Like at times I felt like it wasn't a good idea, and then over the years I've found out that I've really become someone that can help other people with my journey, and that's pretty beautiful. So this is the first documentary that I really feel is not just train wreck TV. This one is more about who I really am, and I think a lot of people don't really know. They're just like, that kid's crazy. But I think this one will really let people know what I'm like, and that's special to me. So
that is, and with reality TV, they can edit it.
Soleil directed it.
Who? Oh, she did. Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
So
We're so looking forward to that. That's
So
is there any like release date in the works? Or I know how I'm doing a documentary myself, and I know how like loosey goosey and how strange documentary is different than regular filmmaking. But do you guys have any tentative?
No,
anything?
I just know that we're just finishing editing it, and
Yeah.
I think it's really special. So I'm excited about it.
Oh, I love that. How long did you shoot with it?
Over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not, but yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I think people are gonna love it. So.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Hey, Seth, when you first joined us, you mentioned that you're focusing on mental health. And it was something that I like because, I speak with a lot of young kids myself. I'm around young kids all the time. All three of us are around the same age. And it was one of those things that people didn't say when we were younger. And people didn't, and our parents definitely didn't say, I'm focused on mental health, or you never heard of a mental health day. Can you talk about that, about, basically being grounded, focusing on, the engine before you can, just throw it to the side and pretend that everything's okay?
Well, basically, I've it's kind of like I've had my struggles with addiction, whether I had problems with addiction. It's kind of like a family. My father had problems with addiction. The rest of my family doesn't really, but me and my dad have had issues with it, and I think that I have so many friends that I've lost, and so many friends that even when it comes to depression, and so many amazing artists that I looked up to, and I was lucky enough to be really close to, and just so through my journey, I've found that no one's perfect, and now addiction touches so many families. So I work really hard on being transparent and kind of like I'm not the A student. I'm not someone who got sober and stayed sober all these years, and I beat myself up about that because I'm my biggest critic. But I think that a lot of people have the same problem. I get 4 years, I get 3 years, I get 2 years, I go through a breakup, and so I'm learning myself and my boundaries and how to deal with my emotions, which might be other issues, like, and finding that balance, like, should I take medication for this? Am I this? Being misdiagnosed? And I really, I'm actually working on putting together a nonprofit to help kids with that. I think I've been, because I had some success, I've been really able to access rehabs and treatment and stuff like that a lot of kids I know don't have the access to. And so, like, I really want to use my experience to help other people, because I think it's taken me years to find peace, and I'm still a work in progress. But I think it's so important, and not to give up on people, and if you fall down, to get back up and not take it as a take it. There is no failure if you keep trying, I believe, and as long as you're alive, you can become the best version of yourself. So that's it in a nutshell, I think.
That's that's big. Obviously, Nicole knows my personal story, but you basically just described my youngest son. And my youngest son fought depression and mental health issues, and trying to do the best he could. And right when things seemed like they were going in the right direction, someone gave him a pill that had fentanyl on it, and he lost his life. And so when you said you're looking to help out the younger people, that hits home with me. It means a lot to me. So I'm glad you're on the right page.
So many friends to fentanyl. It's so scary, and I think it was crazy in our time, but now it's even more dangerous. And luckily, I think a lot of kids are kind of learning from our chaos. But all these young kids, it's horrifying to think that the little things that we got to experiment with will kill somebody. It's a totally different world now with drugs, so it's scary.
It really is. It's like to the point where I have said to my kids, you don't take anything. You don't take a Xanax. You don't take an aspirin. You don't take anything from anybody. If you want something, you come to me. I don't care.
Exactly. I agree with that. I was going to say,
know
I'd
what?
rather get it for them than have them get it from some, knucklehead in school with,
judgment free.
Not that I want to give it to them, but it's like that fine line, like don't take anything from anyone else. It's scary. Like the stuff on the street is the stuff that'll kill somebody, and literally like a couple good friends of mine just lost their kids to fentanyl, like kids that had never done drugs their whole life and take one pill at like graduation and they're gone, and it's scary. So.
And it's weird because it's like they live in these a lot of them are from neighborhoods that is like, nice. And they don't think of like the drugs as from the street because it's in their friend's pocket, right? And in their school or at their house or at their party. And it feels like safe and you're in a safe space. It's not. Right. I forget, they said it's like the tiniest, Dave. What is it? Like the tiniest amount
it's
can make somebody
equivalent
overdose.
of a speck of salt. That's all it is.
Yep. And now it like there was that daycare situation where it was just in the air and killed these little kids. It's scary.
Frightening. And it's like, I still can't wrap my head around why. Like, why is it in everything? Like, what's going on with that?
It's because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper, and they've got barrels of it, and they're bringing it over, and
but it's cheaper than like baby powder and flour and everything.
I don't know. I think that there's just like a huge amount of it, and they've decided to cut it with it. And now the scary part is now kids are. It's like kind of like when you heard heroin was bad for you and people did it anyway. It's like now kids are just doing fentanyl, like straight.
That's crazy.
Buy fentanyl and smoke fentanyl, and they think it's cool. It's like it's and I get that concept. Like, don't do this, and you go do it, but it's just so scary, So, but yeah. So it's like they're not even just going and getting a pill that's laced with it. Now they're actually just buying straight fentanyl. Wow. It's just like. Like my godson got hooked on it, and I was just like, "You're doing fentanyl just straight? Like, why would you do something?" So it's wild. But overall, I think I've had a great effect on my children because my chaos has scared them, and they've gone the other direction. So I think that's one good thing that's come out of it.
Well, no, and you're just so human. It's like you're a human being going through this journey like we all are. You're in the public eye about it, and you're open about it. It's everybody, no matter what anybody looks like, no matter what they're doing, no matter where they live, we're all going through it. Some people just hide it better than others, and that's the truth. So when you share like that, it brings a lot more comfort to people than you think. Not only just kids, adults as well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I'm excited for your documentary. That's going to be really, really cool because reality TV is like such, let's be honest, it's fun to watch, but it's entertainment. It's not
it's theatrics. It's
it's entertainment. It's not telling a true story. So, I love that for you because you've had definitely an interesting, fun life.
Yes.
Colorful life, huh? Very colorful. Very colorful. Well, excited to hear from you and your music, and I'm so happy to see your face. And again, check him out at Real Crazy Town on Instagram. I promise you, it won't disappoint. It won't disappoint. But what I was going to say too is all the 2000s are back, so it's like. All the kids know the song too, right? Because you have a whole resurgence.
Now we get to have our wave.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool,
I love it. Yes, I love that. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. It's great to see you. Nice to meet you.
Very nice meeting you, Seth. All the best to you, bud.
All right, lots of love. Okay.
Bye.
That was really cool having him on. It was perfect example of always what I hope when someone hits a little bit of a low that they come back with a positive and you're helping the next people out. And it stinks that there's one person in front maybe has to set the standard for, hey, this is the road that's a little bit dangerous and I'm here and I'm still fighting. But Nicole, we're seeing this more and more with, younger kids, especially that, whether they're straight out saying they're going to use fentanyl on purpose is crazy, but depression's been a big thing. The kids that I'm around on a regular basis that since the pandemic, I've noticed just a whole different group of kids. And, I worry. I love what he said though at the beginning when he brought up we're focusing on my mental health. that was something people just kept quiet. No one would have the guts to say mental health or I'm not doing well. Always, my friends and I always say, you check up on a friend, just a random phone call to somebody. How you doing? You doing okay? You don't say I'm worried about you, but you do the checks, the rounds of people, and nobody's having a great day every day. And so when he
No.
said the mental health thing, I think was pretty cool.
Well, it's great when people who are cool, like he's super cool, obviously, and it's like when people like that say it, it makes it like even that much more acceptable and easier, because there are people that have said mental health, but they're usually like, stuffy people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like psychiatrists or someone that you would look at like, oh yeah, mumbo jumbo. But when it becomes common and more, I hate this word, but like on trend, to be able to be open about it, it really kind of brings it to a good light so that it's not looked at like, huh, what did you just say? It's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just, it really needs to be normalized. And it's getting there. It really, really is getting there. It's just, it's super refreshing when you see people, like
Exactly.
Seth saying it, because it makes the other kids, and especially since his song is like, they all know it, everybody knows
Yes.
it, and these kids are paying attention, they really are. So yeah, love that.
Absolutely. I want to get to some good news I was excited to ask you about. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Since well, because for me this is good news. I'm excited for you more than I am for me. I mean, I told you I've missed out on some of my favorite shows, and I look forward to the fall season. But for you, as my friend, as someone that's in the business, that's someone who seems energetic and excited about, hey, you know what, this was a career that I want to jump back into. The writer's strike is over, and I
It's
was
over.
so happy to hear it was over, not only for your friends and the people you've been nice enough to bring on the show, but for you as well, that the industry keeps moving, and this is your passion, and this is how you made your mark in the world, that the industry is now back on track and going in the right direction. Are you happy with what you've seen, and have you talked to friends that are kind of relieved that it's over?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, it's like a big, deep sigh, a big deep breath of, a release of being relieved. But it's sort of also, to me, it's like this, what a fucking waste of time.
It always feels that way though after work stoppage.
Right.
Always does.
What were they waiting for? The studios and what were they waiting for? They agreed to everything. They gave him a great deal. Why? What is the holding out about? Like, it's just such a such a cockfight. You know what I mean? It's like they're swinging their dicks around because they can, and it's like, I just don't understand. I was like, and that's it. And you just give in, and you give the writers everything. So I'm sure the actors will follow suit, but they'll just draw it out because I guess that's what they like to do for some reason. So yes, but I do think, once everything gets back up and going again, there is going to be a new, and the industry is not going to be the same, because AI is a thing. It's going to be a thing now. At least we'll be able to have some control over this thing, but it's going to come into play now, right? So we're going to see things change, which is exciting. I mean, listen, I like evolution. I like change. So that's exciting to see, everything that's going to happen, but it's going to be this like world of, you're not going to know if what you're watching is real or not. Right? Like, you're not going to know. They played a Taylor Swift song the other day about her breaking up with that football player guy,
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not her. It's an all AI song, but you would know. You would definitely think it was her. And it's just sort of like, you're not going to really know what is real anymore and what isn't. You're just not.
That's true. That again, I wouldn't know. I mean, if you ever find something because you have a better eye for it than me, point it out to me. I'm kind of curious to know if you could figure it out. But yeah, I wouldn't know. I mean, I know people who on 9-to-5 jobs who say this whole AI has changed their job, on how much easier it is to do their job. They aren't doing the work. The AI is doing the work. Bosses don't even know. I mean, kids have been trying to do it in school, but there's software in school that will catch your kids cheating. But it's interesting as far as the way it goes. I'm curious now that you said that football player guy. I know you aren't a huge sports fan. Did you know who Travis Kelce was? Because there's so many people who are Taylor Swift fans who who didn't know who he was, and they're doing these whole things. Taylor Swift now made him famous, and he was already very, very famous.
No, I knew who he was because he's a brother. I knew that there were these brothers that played football.
Yeah.
I obviously watched the news, so I knew they were, and he had a dating show, so of course I watched that.
He did. That's right. He had the dating show.
Yeah,
and
so I watched.
that's funny. You know what I was thinking the other night? I know you weren't watching the Chiefs play the Jets on TV.
Nope.
No one would because the Jets stink. But Taylor Swift was at the game, and I thought it was pretty funny that you're watching the Chiefs and Jets, and it would have sold out anyway. But she's sitting there, and she was in that same stadium at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey a few months ago, and she sold it out 5 days in a row. And for they said what it did for the New York economy was amazing, because they said it was the equivalent of having 5 Super Bowls in a row. And so I wonder if she's sitting there going, hey, this is pretty cool that all these people are here. Guess what? I did it by myself 5 days in a row. You know what I mean? She's a whole nother level of superstar.
Well, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that, because the NFL must be talking to her, because they've had the highest their ratings. I think they said it was like 35 billion, like 35 million or billion or whatever it was, more than normal. There was some astronomical number of the higher ratings that it got on when she was at the games. So,
and Kansas City is not a big market. Very good team, but it's not a huge media market like in LA or New York. And yet you're right. The interest level in Kansas City Chiefs games are through the roof, knowing Taylor Swift might show up on TV.
Yep. The ratings were outstanding. And I can't imagine they're just going to be like, okay. They're probably going to give her like she's going to have her own like suite at every game, any game she wants, everywhere or all over. I mean, she's got to have a really good in with the NFL now.
Absolutely. The NFL would love, I'm sure, to do the halftime show. It's for the Super Bowl. You know how I think Usher's, who they just announced, is doing the halftime show this year. They were Taylor Swift and Beyonce and all those are always the biggest names out there, and Drake and all those guys who draw a huge audience. But Taylor Swift has been a huge plus for the NFL that already dominated every other sport. But I just wanted to say the writer strike, I'm very happy it's over. We've had people on the show that that work behind the scenes. You mentioned, and I can't get this out of my mind, even the people that supply the food or the cleaning crews, all these people have been out of jobs that go paycheck to paycheck, and then what it means for them to have a chance to get back to work. Really excited.
Well, not yet, because the writers still haven't. They're still striking. They're still out there, so there's still nothing going on in the studios.
Well, explain to me, because help me out, because the reason I thought everything was back to normal is I'm watching the late night shows. They're all back. So. You know what I mean? All the writers are like, Jimmy Kimmel and all those guys started up this week on Monday running shows.
Well, maybe Jimmy Kimmel doesn't care about his SAG card. I don't really know. But wasn't it Jimmy Kimmel and Drew Barrymore that were going to go against the strike, and they were going to scab anyway?
No, Drew Barrymore was. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't. Remember, he was doing a podcast to raise money for the people that were.
Okay, who was it? There was another talk show there was a guy that was going to scab. I forget.
Yeah, don't say a name unless you know for sure. Okay, so the Drew Barrymore thing, how does that affect her and how she's looked at by people on the other side? I mean, I was shocked that she went and took that angle.
Well, she took it back really quickly, didn't she, when she got all that backlash? Lucky for her, people are in a really forgiving mood right now. They kind of that really harsh cancel culture is kind of over, and people are being a little bit, more forgiving. And if you acknowledge and apologize, you get another chance, which that's fair. So who knows what her team was feeding her so that they could all keep working. You don't know what went into that decision making. It's wild, but I'm glad she decided to hold off. And I think it's because they already shot it, and they're holding it not to air it. So maybe that's why Jimmy Kimmel can do that, because there's already shots. He's not working on set shooting.
No.
He can't. If he's SAG, he can't be shooting.
No, well, he literally was doing, today's news jokes. So, I mean, it was, live, not live TV. They tape at 3 p.m. and they run at 11 o'clock and 11:30 at night. But it was today's news. So, I mean,
I don't know. Maybe I know soap operas are exempt. I don't really know. I can't answer that because I don't know, because I do know SAG is still definitely still on strike and still out there picketing. So that
So
is
one of
not
the things,
over.
when do we see, as me as a viewer, who's someone who's not in the industry, but me as a viewer, and let's say I'm waiting for Law and Order to come back on, what do you think time frame wise? How long does it take for the average person in Ohio to get a chance to watch their favorite shows that need writers?
Well, I think that a lot of shows already filmed. They're already in the can. They just can't air them. Right?
Okay.
Isn't that the whole I don't know. You're
I don't know. I
asking
don't know
all these
shit.
questions as if I'm like smart.
I just sit on the couch. You have a better
You're
connection
going
than
to
I do. I
me.
have no idea.
Meanwhile, I'm watching Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of
Yeah,
Salt
me
Lake
too.
City. Like, you know what? There's nothing I can do about any of this. I'm like everybody else. It's like sit back and wait. I'm not one of
Yeah.
those people that like what if this and that. No, I've learned that is a huge waste of time. What's going to happen is going to happen when it happens, and I'll be
Yeah.
here for it.
Now I
I
just
don't
want to
know.
see a quote from you in one of these magazines, Nicole Eggert.
Yeah.
I just
You're
watched Salt Lake
setting me up
City.
for failure over here,
No,
Dave.
just your quote is like, I don't know. I just watched Salt Lake City. That's By the way,
have you been watching Salt Lake
hell
City?
yeah, I'm watching
Oh
Salt
my
Lake
God.
City.
I
I'm
think that
watching
they
Salt
are
Lake
like,
City.
they're the shining star of the Real Housewives franchise for me right now. When and I just watched the latest episode, but the episode before that, when they went to Trixie Motel in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I was fangirling out because I'm a huge fan of Trixie, and I watched the show where they were building the motel, and
Okay.
so it's like I've been wanting to go there and see it so badly. So when they showed up there, I was like, this is everything. And I mean, that Lisa who wouldn't do the drag makeup. Did you watch the episode?
Yeah, I did 100%. Who are you
When she
talking to?
wouldn't, okay, first of all, do you think she really lost this ring? Did this ring like disappear down the toilet? Where did this $60,000 ring go?
I'm at the
I
point now, I really hope she lost the ring. Just because when she says, when they said, you don't understand, middle America doesn't buy $60,000 rings. And she says, yes, they do. No, they don't. You're like, you're so out of touch. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's like, and then she says, I haven't been talking about it all day. And like, that's all she talked about all day. But when she wouldn't get into, drag and she's screaming that her glam team is there and that she's paid for them, I'm so unsure why nobody suggested that her glam team do drag makeup on her.
Exactly right.
Why isn't anybody thinking this through? Fine, have your team do your makeup, but like, do something a little bit more fun. So I thought that was so weird. And then the next episode where she goes into the tanning bed and she's late and she's screaming at them, let me tan, and they cancel her membership.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? What? Why is tanning so bad? And then she goes to they go to the med spa, her and Meredith, and they have to put their face in that thing that takes a picture.
Yes.
And since she freaked out about it so much, I only remember her bad picture. Meredith, who didn't say a word, I can't really remember what her bad picture looked like. So it's like, her screaming about her vanity all the time. Actually, it just makes things worse. It just makes things worse, and it makes you want to like catch her without makeup, and you want to be more shocked because she's setting it up like she looks crazy with no makeup on. That's basically what she's doing. She's setting herself up.
I'm curious to know too.
Yeah.
Okay,
and Mary, can you explain? Can you make it make sense to me?
Why they put her back on the show? Well, she brings nothing to the show and doesn't want to participate in anything.
She hates everybody.
Everybody and everything.
Everything. And what you're wearing, she doesn't want to talk to anybody. And then she's criticizing that new girl, Monica, for eating that crepe, which it's a crepe. And meanwhile, she skipped the party to go to McDonald's in the previous episode. So what are you talking? She's like, that's the Monica.
The
you
driver
sure like
taking to McDonald's. Yeah.
You like to eat. Don't you ever think about eating anything healthy? Do you realize you skipped out on the party to go get McDonald's? She went to Mickey D's. And
I
she's
thought that was one of the funniest damn things. Yeah. I don't think it's the healthy thing. I think she was calling her fat. That's what she was doing.
I think so.
She was calling her fat. And basically, you're going to eat your body into a wreck is what she would literally say to her face. I don't know why the producers put Mary back on. At first, I was really upset. Like, she brings nothing to the show. But in a way, she kind of does, because it's a train wreck every time. And the way people act like she's not there and some act like she is there is it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. And I got to tell you, Whitney is funny as hell to me, that she tries to stop every controversy before it starts. I'm gonna nip
by
this in the butt.
by making it a thing, though, right? Like, so
Yeah,
she
of
wants
course.
to be in the
Yeah,
middle of
I'm gonna throw
everything.
gas on this right in front of you, and then we're gonna talk about it that I didn't do this. But when she dropped we got to nip this in the butt, and the other girl's like, "Is it butt or butt? It doesn't matter." And I'm looking at her like everyone else is, going, "What the hell?" As I used to say in the South, when they insult you but they compliment you, you bless her heart.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that was
Bless your heart.
means you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And no, I'm loving Salt Lake City. I'm all hooked on this damn show.
I mean, and Meredith is so strange. Meredith is so strange. And when she gets drunk and gets those weird accents, and I know everybody's talking about it right now, but I seriously rewind, watch it again. Rewind, watch it again. I was like, she's really talking like that. Like, instead of slurring, she becomes like a fake Brit.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Okay.
Security. Security.
Well, it's like Beverly Hills Housewives is coming back in a couple weeks. Okay, it's Dorit, right? The one who's from Connecticut that speaks with an English accent all the time.
It's
And
who? What?
It's not Dorit.
Oh yeah, Dorit.
The one who's Dorit. I am right, right? The one married to the English guy.
Yeah.
And she speaks with an English accent, but I had to go looking her up, and she's from Connecticut. You know?
Yeah.
And it cracks me up that she falls into this, and I it's such a mess. There's so many good things coming right now with the reality TV. I'm watching Southern Charm finally. I'm caught up. I'm trying to catch up on this show. And
Below Deck is really good.
You haven't been a good influence on me, Nicole. I already thought I was a mess.
Sorry.
Now I've gotten worse. I've now gotten much worse.
Listen, the writers have been on strike. There were no new shows, so you can watch reality show. Below Deck, Mediterranean is so far. It's only in 2 seasons or something, but it's really good. And then can we talk Beverly Hills just for a second? Because what a variety of loonies. Like I you've got like Erin, the narcissist. Like, could she love herself or think more of herself? I just, it's like, and I think I really only enjoy Brynn, Jen, and Uba.
Okay, we'll go in New York. Sorry, I thought you said Beverly Hills, but yeah, New York.
Oh, did I? I think I did. Oh my God. Sorry. Yeah, New York. Sorry.
Okay. Go through the ones you enjoy again. Say those names again.
I like Jen, and I like Uba. And I like Brynn.
Okay, I'm not an Uba fan. I like Brynn has won me over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, she's like so. Yeah. If I could just have a little bit of Brynn in me, I could really make things easier in my life. So I think she's adorable. I really think she's cute. But it's like this Erin is like this mean narcissist. Like she's super catty to everybody, and then she's like the victim all the time.
But she knows how to play the game. She knows how to do the game. A lot of people don't know how to jump into these shows and play the game.
I think
if you're Andy, you aren't kicking her off next year, right? If you're Andy and going, who stays, who goes, you aren't getting rid of her. You got to keep her on the show. I don't think they'll
get rid of any of them because there was just one season. I think it's been pretty successful. So I think they're all pretty safe. But it's like, I don't know, with their whole prank thing. Like they act like children who like play dress up all day long. I don't know. It's the strangest mindset. And then you've got the one who is the fashion one, and she always talks about her fashions, and like nothing fits right. Everything is so ill-fitted. I can't even stand watching it. I'm like, you have all these amazing outfits. Yeah, but like where your boobs are supposed to go, or the seams are up here, and like nothing fits you, girl. And like you can tell she's shorter in stature, and I can say that because I'm shorter in stature. So when your clothes aren't perfectly tailored, they drown you and wear you, and that's what's happening. Her name's Sai, right? Sai.
Yes.
Otherwise, I mean, I think I kind of like her, but I can't get over her wardrobe. Her wardrobe kills me every scene, every episode. I was like, oh God.
Let me ask you, if you were one of these, let's say you're one of these, so-called housewives, which a lot of them aren't even married, but you were one of these so-called housewives and you weren't someone who had a TV career, which show would you feel best jumping in? Like, which cast would you feel most comfortable? Like in New Jersey, New York, Salt Lake City, Orange County, Beverly Hills. Which one?
I would definitely either be Orange. I would definitely be Orange County or Beverly Hills because it's where I grew up. This is my stomping grounds. So I'm in both of those. I probably might choose Orange County just so I could live back down there again. for selfish reasons.
It's less
Um,
pressure in Orange County, right? Than Beverly Hills.
well, I think it's a different kind of
Yeah.
pressure. It's different. Orange County is very like you need to be skinny and plastic and all of that. And in Beverly Hills, you just have to be like, your fashion has to be on point.
That's
So,
true.
I fail miserably in both those categories. So I'd be like the Denise Richards. But yeah, I think I would choose Orange County just because I'm more at home. I mean, I'm really at home there. Either one. But yeah,
There you go. All right,
I
let's
was in
get
Orange
to
County before all of them. So
exactly.
yeah.
All right, let's get to your mailbag before we run. We always go a little bit too long, but we're going to get to
Okay.
Nicole's mailbag again. If you have a question for Nicole, feel free to write in perfectlytwistedpod.com. I'm going to do our best to get to as many questions as we can. Again, perfectlytwistedpod.com to ask Nicole a question. First question. This is from Daniel, I should say, Daniel Malusa. Nicole, did you know about the episode in Friends where Joey has Baywatch on their TV and Joey says to Chandler, "You'll like Nicole Eggert"?
Yes, I'm well aware of it.
Me too.
I know both those guys very well. I've known them not very well anymore, but I knew them very well growing up. Matt LeBlanc was always super fun to be around. They both are great guys. So yes, I knew about it because I knew them. And then also, of course, everybody was like, did you see Friends? Did you see Friends? And I think we've used it probably in the documentary too. But yeah, it was very flattering. It was really cute.
I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, Friends was
Yeah.
extremely popular, and all of a sudden, I'm sure if you're watching it for the first time, you're like, wait a second, they just said my name. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's kind of
I
cool.
didn't
What an
watch
honor.
Friends. I didn't
You
watch
did it? You weren't a
Friends.
Friends fan? Oh,
No,
wow.
listen, I didn't. I was working a lot, and TV wasn't really like I said. I've said this before. Like I wasn't really an avid like TV viewer,
Yeah.
and like a rom-com sitcom kind of thing wouldn't have been my choice anyway. So I know it's a great show. I know it's legendary. I know everybody loves it. Maybe I should go and watch it. But no, I've maybe seen an episode or two, but that's about it.
Wow. Have your daughters seen the episode? Just curious.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, I'm telling you, if I was you, I'd have it ready to go on the DVR, and just when like your daughter walks, like you're just casually watching TV and see if she catches it.
But then would they know
I'd
what the
set it up.
show? Do
Yeah,
they know what
just
the show Friends is? Wait, hold on one second. Alexa,
yeah.
go away.
It's funny, my watch just went off too. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, is it that alert?
I
It
can't
might
hear it.
be
We can't hear it through the microphone.
there. It might be the how
Amber
there's that
Alert?
emergency FEMA alert going on
Yeah.
today because my Alexa is recording. She's listening to me for a
Oh.
while right now, so I don't know what she's trying to hear. But
Sound like my
speaking of
mom.
creepy AI,
Yeah, these are the conversations I get from my mother in the middle of the night. The Alexa's listening to me right now. Should never got it for me. That's why I get those. Mom, it's fine. The
yeah, she's
FBI doesn't
listening
care
to it.
about what's going on in your house. Yeah,
So I know,
that's
as long as you're not doing anything illegal, you're good, right?
yeah, you're 100% fine. Especially all the topics we just brought up a second ago with Seth. We mentioned fentanyl, we mentioned kids, Alexa's reporting you everything right now.
No,
What's
yeah,
going on
now
in that
we're on a
girl's
watch
house?
list.
There you go. All right, let's continue with a couple more questions. Nicole, where was the movie Just One of the Girls filmed? Other than Corey, what were your cast members like to work with? Do you still keep in touch with any of them?
Okay, it was filmed in Canada. I'm trying to think whereabouts in Canada. Because Canada's kind of blurry for me because I would go out there and then for a project and then book another project. And I usually do like 3 or 4 in a row out there and move around. But it was in Canada. I want to say Vancouver. And everybody was great. Everybody was great on that, except the girl who punched me in the nose and broke my nose.
Whoa, wait, what? Hold on, don't just go by like that happens to everybody. Who punched you in the face? What did you do,
Well,
and why did they punch you in the face?
That's the burning question. So she was an actor. She is an actress. She was playing a fellow like competitive cheerleader. I was a cheerleader in it, and we get into some kind of altercation. And she like starts, I feel like she starts to storm away, and I like grab her arm to say like try to talk or whatever. But when I stopped her like that, she turned around and she swung on me. She punched me in the face. She punched me right in the nose. And the best part was they got it on film and we would watch it in slow motion. And there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, wow. And as I go to the ER and it's hot and I've got that big, thick, like cheerleader sweater on covered in blood. So I'm sweating to death. I'm in pain, right? So I ripped the sweater off. So I'm like sitting in my bra in a cheerleading skirt in the ER in Canada, and I've got American insurance, right? So they're not taking me seriously, and they're not taking me in anytime soon at all. So about an hour of sitting there, and this is terrible, but this is the truth. I knew that my co-stars had painkillers.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I go back to the hotel, I'll just ask them for some painkillers. I'll lay down and then I'll have them call like a doctor, because on sets, the doctors, they come to you. And I was like, I'll just have somebody come to my room. And the doctor was like, well, it's broken. You should have had it reset. And I was like, I'm not going back. And I just left it. So my nose is a little crooked, but you have to really look to notice it. Once you notice it, you really see it. But listen, it's crooked. It gives my face character.
What happened? Like, what did the producers say? What does people who are paying you say?
Pissed, because of
no
course
kidding.
it holds up production. So I mean, I'm like supervised to stay in my room and sit with ice on my face for like the next 3 days while they try to shoot around me, and then makeup's got to come in and like figure it out, because now you got 2 black eyes too, because it's like I've got black eyes, my nose is all swollen. They did a great job. And listen, I was young and it healed. It was easy to camouflage. It was pretty easy to like work around it. But so fun fact, she punched me in the face and broke my nose. Later, I dated her ex-boyfriend. So
good for you.
We're all squared up.
You should have dated her dad to make it hurt even more. Yeah. What the hell? That's crazy. Oh my god!
And I didn't date the boyfriend on purpose. Let me just be clear.
Oh, it wasn't one of those.
That was coincidental. It honestly was coincidental, but still.
I'd be like, I'm getting you back. It's gonna hurt, and dating your boyfriend and your cousin and everybody else to make it hurt, and then break the hearts, every one of them. Good God! All right, here we go. We'll move on. What was it like working with Judith Light and Tony Danza on Who's the Boss? I would have asked this question too, by the way.
Oh, amazing! Completely amazing. Judith Light was, and really, Catherine on that show was a big one for me, because I used to watch that show Soap. Do you remember Soap?
Of course.
Okay, so I was like a huge fan of that, or my mom, was a huge fan of that. So that was in our living room, and I watched it. Yeah, so we watched that a lot. So I was kind of like starstruck all over that set. So it was just really great to watch them work. And Judith is, to me, she feels like such a theater actor, like such a real, like, down to the bones, like actress. Like that's who she is. She exudes it, and that's really fun to watch. And Tony Danza, is just so lighthearted and so likable and so friendly, and just a lot of fun. I really I really liked being on that set. It was a well-oiled machine, and everybody that was there was great at what they did and loved what they were doing. So it was a really great introduction to doing sitcom TV.
I think you and I discussed this once. I'm not sure if it was on the show or off the show, but for me, when I watch people who were adults in my childhood, and then you see them pass away, whether it's, Catherine Hellman, who played, Judith Light's mom, or, even Benson when he dies, it doesn't matter who it is. It always kind of bums me out, even though I never met those people. And you did meet a lot of these people. It's part of my childhood is now, gone. It feels like, I don't say a family member, but still it was part of your childhood when you think about your memories.
It is, because it's nostalgia. And it's like, not to get all sappy, but I felt like this in my last move, when I was like really going through everything and going through my mom's stuff as well, because she had passed and she left so much stuff. Like going through it all, and then like looking back and seeing who's still with us, who isn't, seeing my kids and like going through all their baby stuff and that they're grown and I'll never go through that again. And it's like, it's so definite. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes you think of, mortality and, you know, there's something happy and sad. It's like, tragic in a way of like reminiscing when you're at this age. Because there is this whole, especially at 50, it's like there's this whole next chapter. There's this whole other book that needs
Yeah.
to be written. And you're kind of closing the other one to childhood and memories and parenthood and everything you've done to get here. And there's something that was really hard about that move, but something super freeing. So, I really went through a lot in this last year, and it's the same kind of feeling. It's like saying goodbye to things that were such a big part of you, or that you really appreciated, or that, influenced you so much. So it's like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to let go of those things.
Exactly. No, exactly right. All right, Daniel, there's two more questions for you. Great job with the questions, by the way, Daniel. Dave and Nicole, being big fans of Real Housewives of Orange County, who is your favorite character over 17 seasons?
Okay, on the count of 3. You say who you think, and I'll say I think it will win.
I'm going to shock you who mine is.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Vicky Gunvalson.
we kind of went around this. I said Tamara. I can't stand her.
Duo.
Okay. I can't stand her, but yeah, they're one and the same. You and I went the same direction because those two keep the show going. Without those two, the show is boring as hell.
Yeah, it's like freaking crack.
Yeah, they are. They keep the show going. But my thing was that Vicky, I always know Vicky's a pain in the ass. With Tamara, I think every year it starts off with, all right, she's a different person this time. She's seen all the shows. She's went to the reunion. She's going to come back as a nice version. And it lasts for maybe a show and a half. And she goes right back to being the evil person she is. And I fall for it every time.
Yeah, you're gullible.
I'm a sucker.
I have some real estate to sell you. No, at least Vicky, you're getting crazy, and she serves the crazy. She owns the crazy, and she still continues to shock me with the crazy. And this year, I feel like she's kind of like normalized. I don't know. Something about her seems more grounded. Maybe it's the new guy. I don't know. But yeah, those two, they're a duo. They are a duo that has kept that show going.
And the show needs them for sure. The show, we've seen it without them, and the show needs them. All right, last question on here. It says, Nicole, do you still visit theme parks, and do you like roller coasters?
Oh, listen, I was the biggest fan of roller coasters. I was so into them. The bigger, the scarier, the better. And then when my oldest daughter became like a young teen, preteen, and wanted to go to Magic Mountain and stuff like that, and I went, because they needed somebody to take them. They were still too young. She was probably Keegan's age, so she's probably in the 12-year-old range. And I remember going on that roller coaster that plays that Metallica song, and she was in front of me, and all of a sudden, I couldn't help but think she was going to fly out of the roller coaster. And so I'm like trying to hold her in her seat, and she's like, "Get off of me." And I'm like holding her in, like freaking out that my child's going to fly out of this insane roller coaster. I mean, that roller coaster is insane. Nobody's living if something goes wrong on that one. And it panicked me to a place of, no, I'm not into it anymore. And I don't want to watch. I don't want to be there. And luckily, my little one doesn't want anything to do with theme parks. I took her to Disneyland. She was having a really great time. I talked her into getting on some rides, having a great the day with that Tower of Terror, or I forget what they call it now.
You're right. Oh, I don't know what it is now, but you're right.
No, they changed the name, the Galaxy, the whatever. Scared the living shit out of her.
Yeah.
Traumatized her. She doesn't want to go back. She never asked. She's not that kid that wants to go to a theme park. So I'm off scot-free. I don't have to think about it. And soon enough, she'll be old enough to just go with her friends.
Yeah.
And I won't have to worry about it. Yeah.
I'm with you. I was always the big roller coaster person. I never understood the people that didn't want to do the scariest and the biggest roller coasters. But then all of a sudden, something happened to my equilibrium as I got older, where every one of them, I feel sick as a dog. Like, where's a bench? I got to lay down for an hour. Like, it was weird. I don't know what happened. It was like, this was my thing. And then you can't get me to Magic Mountain now.
Me, it's I'm in fear of the safety. It's
Yeah.
the safety issue. It's a pure, simple safety issue. I don't want anything to do with it. Like, why we made it this far? let's like let's keep it easy. Let's just and I did a few Disneyland birthday parties for Keegan when she was little, but I was on Dumbo. It was like no big deal. But yeah, no. Luckily, she doesn't ask to go, so I don't have to face that right now.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Those are great questions, Daniel. Appreciate the
Yeah, thank
questions.
you,
Again,
Daniel.
if you have a question for Nicole, just go to the website again, perfectlytwistedpod.com, and you can look at the mailbag and you can ask Nicole questions, and we'll do the best we can to get them on there as quick as we can. But another fun show, Nicole. That was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, me too. It was really good time. So don't forget to subscribe to us, give us a like, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter if you want, if you still go there. X. It's like X is such the perfect name for it. Like
That's a good point.
What's so funny? The last time I was on there, that X was showing up, and then there were the X's. I was like, how do you close it out? Which is the closeout X? Get rid of it. X is everywhere. Hate that place. So don't forget, follow us, give us a like, let us know what you think, and leave a review. And we will see you next week.